Sir?
Does the war in Iran have anything to do with core inflation? Or you can't answer that, or either? Or are we precluded from asking that?
Bessent dodges the simplest question imaginable. This is not mere wordplay. It is the exact reason your gas tank is draining your wallet. Larson, a former history teacher who actually grasps the struggles of working families, cuts straight through the spin. Watch how this explodes.
Thank you, and thank you, Secretary, for joining us here today. It's always kind of unusual when you start a hearing and are instructed what you can say or can't say in an open and free democracy. But having said that, you mentioned in your testimony core inflation a couple of times. What's the difference between core inflation and inflation?
Many people believe, or it is in general, energy prices and food prices, which are much more fast-moving. And I would say that energy prices will roll down when this Iran conflict ends.
So is gasoline considered part of core inflation?
Yes, sir.
It is. So those remarks, core inflation reflects gasoline prices.
Core inflation, it reflects the underlying trend in inflation and whether that inflation has become endemic to the system as it did during President Biden's
Has the war in Iran had anything to do with core inflation?
Sir?
Does the war in Iran have anything to do with core inflation? Or you can't answer that, or either? Or are we precluded from asking that?
Well, I'm not sure what the question is.
Let me make it as simple as I can. Does the war in Iran, are you with me? Has the war in Iran
thus far
have witnessed the rise in gas prices as it caused?
Well, again, that is the regular inflation, and gas prices have gone up, which I believe will be temporary.
Gas prices have gone up, but you believe they're temporary.
Core inflation has dropped 0.5% since President Trump came to office.
Listen closely because this is the very moment the mask falls. Scott Bessent just confessed on record that gasoline is included in core inflation. Yet, in his very next breath, he proudly boasts that core inflation dropped 0.5% under Trump. Make no mistake, this is deliberate, sophisticated statistical deception orchestrated at the highest levels of government. Let me break this down for you exactly like an economist. Core inflation was originally designed to filter out short-term volatility in food and energy prices. However, in this administration's hands, it has morphed into a weaponized political tool. They deliberately exclude the exact two categories ruthlessly crushing working-class Americans, energy and food, and then parade this manipulated number as definitive proof that everything is fine. Here is the shocking, undeniable truth. Since Trump's military escalation in Iran, gas prices have exploded by 35 to 45% across critical markets. Independent data from energy analysts and regional fuel reports solidify this isn't just standard market fluctuation. It's the direct consequence of disrupted global oil supplies, heightened geopolitical terror, and a massive war premium being slapped onto every single barrel of crude. Supply chains are fracturing, refineries are nervous, and the brutal cost is passed straight to your wallet. This is not abstract economic policy. This is exhausted mothers choosing between buying milk for their children and filling the car to reach their second job. This is truckers sleeping in their cabs because they cannot afford to drive home. This is small business owners watching their dreams evaporate with every single price surge at the pump. And what exactly does Secretary Bessent call this ongoing nightmare? Temporary. Tell that to the families whose budgets have already been utterly obliterated. Tell that to the millions staring at their bank accounts in despair while this administration endlessly plays word games with core versus headline inflation. This isn't temporary. This is a catastrophic man-made economic disaster dressed up in fancy charts. Bessent isn't just dodging questions. He is actively gaslighting an entire nation while the Trump war machine mercilessly drives prices higher. And John Larson just tore the whole facade wide open, like, comment, subscribe.
Geez, you know, when I'm home in my district, I'm going to just tell those people, geez, you know what? You've missed this whole thing. Don't you understand core inflation? You guys are better off. I mean, these gas prices, I don't know what you people are thinking out there. For God's sake, you know, you should be doing cartwheels in the street over the price of gas. So what is the administration's plan to lower gas prices?
We've taken the many.
Are you in favor of eliminating the gas tax?
We have moved to.
Are you in favor of eliminating the gas tax?
We would like to work.
Are you able to answer that, or is that not answered?
Well, if I'm not interrupted, I can, Congressman.
Well, I'm waiting for your answer.
We have asked Congress to move to eliminate the gas tax. That is done through statute.
You have moved that. So you're in favor of eliminating the gas tax.
We have asked for that.
So we can join bipartisanly today because you're in favor to eliminate the gas tax.
Again, the White House has asked for it, sir.
They have? Why isn't it before the committee for a vote?
I don't run the agenda.
Well, it's good to hear that we're in favor of something that we can work on bipartisanly that will help relieve people who need it the most. Forgive me, but people in my district aren't doing cartwheels over this economy. They haven't seen the impact that you claim that they're all receiving. People hear a lot of rhetoric, et cetera, but that doesn't pay their grocery bills. That doesn't pay their heating costs. That doesn't put fuel in their tanks. That doesn't help them get through the day-to-day grind of their lives. And so coming here and filling us with platitude and telling us how grateful we should be to the Trump administration for everything that it's done.
The sarcasm hits like a sledgehammer because every word rings painfully true. Absolutely no one is doing cartwheels in the streets over astronomical gas prices. While Scott Bessent hides safely behind polished economic jargon, ordinary Americans are drowning in a relentless sea of rising costs. Groceries have spiked sharply, heating bills are soaring, and gasoline hit record-shattering levels across multiple states. Make no mistake, this is not just a minor inconvenience. This is a full-blown cost-of-living crisis quietly breaking the backs of working families nationwide. But here's what makes this nightmare even more infuriating. Trump's own tariffs on imported goods poured gasoline directly onto the fire. By slapping massive taxes on everything from raw materials to finished products, this administration engineered another brutal layer of inflation onto everyday essentials, from clothing and electronics to auto parts and food packaging. Economists warned this would happen, and now the American public is paying the price. While Bessent stands offering empty platitudes and artificially rosy statistics, real Americans fiercely grind it out every single day. Parents skip meals so their children can eat. Seniors are forced to choose between medicine and fuel. Workers take on exhausting shifts just to cover the barest basics. The human suffering behind these numbers is intensely real, yet callously ignored by the very people in power. The ultimate insult? The White House loudly claims that they want to eliminate the federal gas tax for immediate relief at the pump. Yet they haven't even brought the proposal to a committee vote. It's pure political theater. A shockingly cheap soundbite designed to project fake empathy while doing absolutely nothing meaningful to help those who need it most. This is the Trump economy in raw action. Grand promises, highly selective statistics, and families left entirely to suffer the consequences. John Larson is finally speaking the brutal truth that Washington simply doesn't want to hear.
Well, Congressman,
is this war responsible for any of this?
Congressman, food at home is up 2.5% since President Trump took office.
Are we at war currently?
Which is twice.
Are we at
up
war
twice that
currently?
much every year under the Biden administration.
Are we at war currently?
That the conflict has been halted.
The conflict has been halted. So we're not at war. So our military is not involved. We're not at war.
Again, if you would like for me to call the Secretary of War, I can ask. I'm the Secretary.
So as part of the administration and as part of this, we're not at war. How in God's name, if we can't answer any questions at all, and I don't know, maybe there were some special orders where we're not allowed to these questions or not, we ought to make that clear. Are we at war or not? I'm asking as relation to the cost of going up for oil and gas. That hasn't risen.
Well,
has it risen because of the war?
It did rise because of the conflict, yes, sir.
The conflict. So that's what we call it. Our people go into battle and lose their lives.
Mr. Larson, your time has
Conflict.
expired.
Watch Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent squirm, flatly refusing to utter the word war, even as American service members lose their lives and gas prices explode in response. Instead, he desperately clings to the sanitized, bloodless euphemism of a conflict. Then comes the ultimate humiliating blunder. He bizarrely offers to call the Secretary of War, a cabinet position formally abolished nearly 80 years ago in 1947. This is no simple verbal slip. This is a glaring moment of pure, unadulterated panic and evasion. It lays bare an administration so terrified of confronting the truth that they rewrite history on the spot just to dodge accountability. By refusing to label it a war, they desperately try to conceal the devastating human and economic toll of Trump's foreign policy. The hollow word conflict is carefully weaponized to evade congressional oversight, constitutional scrutiny, and the profound moral responsibility of sending young Americans into battle. Meanwhile, the crushing ripple effects hit every single American directly in the wallet. Surging oil prices, skyrocketing shipping rates, and rampant inflation are infecting the entire economy. Every single time you pull up to the gas pump, you are actively paying for this administration's reckless, unchecked decisions. This is not competent governance. This is a pathetic attempt to gaslight the American public while the true, staggering cost of war, measured in both blood and dollars, continues to mount. John Larson flat out refused to let him get away with it, and neither should we.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary, nice to have you back before our committee. Mr. Secretary, do you believe that all Americans should follow our tax laws?
Yes, Congressman.
Yes, good, so do I. And do you believe that for those Americans who break our tax laws, they should be audited or held accountable?
Well, I think there are two things there. An audit is not a result of breaking the law.
Yes or no? Simple question.
Well, no, it's not a simple question. It's
okay,
a two-part
then
question.
let me break it into two. Do you think they should?
If you're asking
please
me,
don't
should every
interrupt
taxpayer
me.
be audited?
Please answer that. I came here for answers. If you came here to waste time, I'm going to try to make sure you don't do that. Do you believe that people who lie on their tax returns should be audited?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that people who break our laws should be held accountable, our tax laws?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Very simple. Not a hard question. I'm glad we agree. So why is it that you are allowing President Trump to have complete immunity from being audited?
Again, I'm going to have to refer you to my previous statements. And
what was your previous statement, sir?
That I am unable to comment on any of the ongoing litigation.
Okay, can you name the ongoing case concerning President Trump's immunity from audit?
Sorry?
Can you name?
There are three cases.
Can you name them, please?
That are out there now, and I will be happy to get back to you on those, because again, I am not a lawyer.
Okay.
We are represented by the DOJ.
Great. You said that you can't because there's ongoing litigation. You'll get me the name of the ongoing litigation, because the only ongoing litigation that I know of is surrounding the $1.8 million slush fund, which has already been suspended. The fact is that the judge's ruling in the litigation that references that slush fund only addresses the anti-weaponization fund. It doesn't even address Trump's immunity from audit. So I would like to ask unanimous consent to enter into the record the judge's order in the Floyd versus Department of Justice case.
Without objection.
Thank you. Now, Secretary, you said you're not an attorney. Is that correct?
Mercifully.
Okay, well, I am, and I'm actually proud to be an attorney and know the laws, and I know how to read a judicial ruling. Furthermore, I know that since 1962, the Supreme Court has held that ongoing litigation does not prevent someone from testifying in a congressional hearing. So once again, I'm going to ask, why are you allowing President Trump and his family to have complete immunity from being audited?
Again, since you're a lawyer, you will understand that The U.S. Treasury and the IRS are represented by the Justice Department and the acting Attorney General.
Yes, but I just mentioned a Supreme Court case that doesn't bar you from testifying. It's pretty clear to me, though, however, that you're not interested in answering questions. You're interested in arguing. Let me ask you this question. If President Biden amended a prior tax return and claimed that he was owed $1 billion, do you think that that would be audited, or should it be audited?
I'm not going to talk about any
because you're not really here to answer questions. I don't understand why you wouldn't audit that, and I don't understand why you wouldn't do the same for President Trump. So the ruling by the Justice Department,
do you have specific knowledge of an audit of President Trump?
Excuse me. It's my time. You're not here to ask me questions. I'm here to ask you questions, and hopefully you're here to try to answer some of them. I'm curious to know who counts as Trump's family for the purposes of this immunity. Is it his children, his in-laws, his grandchildren, his second or third cousin, his great-great-grandchildren? Do you know the answer to that question, Mr. Secretary?
Again, I imagine you have the Justice Department phone number. I would suggest you call them.
I'm not the one that runs the Department of the Treasury or that oversees what is happening with this immunity has been granted.
I'm not the one either. We follow the instructions of our lawyers, and we obey the law.
I hope that you're proud of your performance today, Mr. Secretary, because
I hope you get some social media
it's pretty safe to say that this is probably the most corrupt Treasury Department in our nation's history. And while you dance around questions to protect Trump, Americans are suffering in Trump's spiraling economy. Inflation is now rising faster than average hourly wages. Gas prices are at an all-time high with the war in Iran. The cost of groceries has risen 3.2% over the past years, and prices on most goods have gone up because of Trump's tariffs. So I don't see how you could call that anything other than a failure of the most corrupt Treasury Department in history.
Your time has expired, Ms. Sanchez.
Thank you. My time has expired.
Secretary, I would love for you to respond to the accusations at your department, because I think you are due.
John Larson didn't just expose the staggering lies surrounding inflation and this undeclared war. He went straight for the jugular. He laid bare the most dangerous corruption of all, a two-tiered justice system where Donald Trump and his family enjoy absolute, unchecked immunity from IRS audits. While ordinary Americans are relentlessly forced to follow the rules or face the government's full wrath, Scott Bessent's pathetic evasions, his endless deflections to ongoing litigation, and his absolute inability to name even a single case revealed exactly what is happening right now. This isn't about mere legal technicalities. It is about shielding the powerful while sacrificing everyone else. Millions of hardworking families are being brutally crushed by record gas prices, soaring grocery bills, and Trump's tariffs. Yet the very architects of these disastrous policies remain completely shielded from scrutiny. Think about that for a second. If Joe Biden had claimed $1 billion refund, the IRS would be knocking on his door in a heartbeat. But for Trump, total silence. Blanket immunity, special treatment. This hearing proved unequivocally that we aren't just battling terrible economic policy. We are confronting a systemic culture of corruption deliberately designed to place one man and his inner circle above the law. Larson, a former high school history teacher, powerfully reminded everyone in that room and every American watching at home what genuine accountability actually looks like. From gas prices artificially fueled by foreign conflict, to manipulated economic statistics, to protecting billionaires from paying their fair share, the pattern is entirely undeniable. The Trump administration isn't merely failing the American people, it is actively working against them to aggressively protect its own elite class. This moment is vastly bigger than a single congressional hearing. It is a battle for the very soul of our democracy. John Larson didn't just expose Scott Bessent, he indicted an entire administration that prioritizes shielding Donald Trump over defending American families. When leaders refuse to call a war by its true name, when they cherry-pick statistics to obscure reality, and when they elevate blind loyalty to one man above their sworn duty to the public, democracy itself always teeters on the brink. Transparency, honesty, and accountability are never optional. They are the bedrock of any government that genuinely serves its citizens. This is the grim reality of the Trump economy. Excruciating pain for the many, ironclad protection for the few. If you believe in truth over spin and putting working families first and in holding raw power accountable, then hit that like button, subscribe, and comment below. Should Congress force full disclosure on the true human and financial cost of this war? Turn on notifications because we are just getting started. Real change only begins when we collectively demand better. See you in the next video.